What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as our Lakers destroy the Houston Rockets 117 to 100. Obliterated them. You guys see the thumbnail. Absolutely detonated the Houston Rockets, and there's nothing the Rockets can do about it. Um, Lakers played amazing defense, especially in the first half, and the offense, we shot over 50%. I'm sorry, we shot right at 50% and 40% from beyond the arc. Absolutely destroy. When the Lakers are playing like this, nobody can stop us. And yes, I know that the Rockets suck this year. Clearly. I mean, I was, vouching for them to trade Harden in the offseason. I told you guys the time to strike was when the iron was hot. But like I was telling you, like me and my boy Q were talking, man, during the game, and it might be too late for the Rockets. What can they get? They're probably going to get pennies to the dollar, man. Pennies to the dollar for James Harden. He looks fat, out of shape, sloppy. He looks heartless. Like, he don't even look like an NBA superstar anymore. Like, what's going on? But, yeah, that LeBron shot was crazy. When he looked away, that Curry style, man, that was nuts. Everything was going. Everything was going for the Lakers tonight. Just a dream game on both ends of the floor. So shout out to the Lakers on getting victory number 9, I believe, already, man. And we're undefeated on the road. We are undefeated on the road, even though technically no road game is a road game, but still. So that's super impressive. I don't know why. We're playing amazing away from Staples Center, and we got to keep this up. But I got to say, what a great game all the way around. We held the Rockets to 39% from the field and 30% from the three-point line. That's amazing considering they love firing those three-pointers. We out-rebounded the Rockets 63 to 50, and we beat them by 17. Honestly, like the commentator said, it was way more than 17. Way more than 17. In reality, we smacked them from the beginning. But very impressed with this performance, man. Mega Man Dan. Hey, what's up, brother? Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. He said, let's go. He said, nobody beating the Lakers. We are too deep. Now, I will say this, Leslie. You're absolutely right. The Lakers are extremely deep. However, we're yet, and this is the only concerning thing, we are yet to actually play and beat an actual contender. So we still have to play. Like, the Rockets suck. They've been sucking all year because James Harden's horrible for the team chemistry. James Harden doesn't look as great because he's now no longer under Mike D'Antoni's running gun, offense. Now they actually have a big who they're feeding in the paint. And honestly, the team chemistry is off. The Rockets have looked way better without James Harden. So I knew they should have traded him when they had the chance. But, man, Lakers absolutely just this is what I like to see. This is what a championship contender has to do. You have to put out the weaker teams early. And Lakers came out the gate and just put the game away in the first quarter. I love it, though. I love it. You got to love it, Leslie. And he said, what up, Hey, what's up, Andre? He said, Lakers are like a giant minion, unstoppable. Bro, here's the thing. LeBron James, at his age, is still having an MVP season. Now, for some reason, I thought he would slow down this year or, at least like defer to Anthony Davis more. Nah, man, my dog is having an MVP season and I'm loving it, man. Come on, man. 36 going strong. It's amazing. He said when AD punked Harden with those back-to-back blocks, I was dying. He looks out of shape. He's not even jumping. Like, even on his layups he normally gets, he's not making those. James Harden looks horrible. I hate to say I told you so to my friend, but I told you so. James Harden is not a real champ. He's showing his true colors right now. Right, James Harden is to me, he was a stat pattern. And the playoffs, he shows his true colors as well. He disappears. He'd be having some horrible games. He's a high volume shooter. I think he's overrated. I've been saying it for a long time. He said, Dan, do you think Harden trade rumors is affecting the team or is it lack of chemistry? It's both. I think DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall probably texted each other like, man, I can't wait to get this fat mother sucker out of the team, man. Like, he's out of shape, bro. He's out of shape. And my thing is, he's leading the team by a horrible example. He was supposed to be a star player of the team. He wasn't there the first practice. Him and Kyrie both on some weird stuff. But I got to say, James Harden has all the talent in the world, but my critique of him has always been that I don't see the heart. I don't see the passion. And my thing is, I'm not even making fun of him because of his weight, because obviously COVID got us all down right now. Me myself gained weight during the COVID. So I'm not necessarily making fun of him due to his weight. I'm making fun of him due to his lack of passion and his lack of trying. Like, he looks like he's going through the motions out there. Seriously, if I'm Brooklyn, I pull off that deal quick. But here's the thing, though. The way Karis LeVert has been balling, I'm second guessing myself. Maybe I give up less assets, especially for how horrible James Harden looks. But on the other hand, the Lakers looked amazing, man, from head to toe. I'm gonna go through the stats with y'all, man. They looked phenomenal. I mean, Trez continues to do his thing off the bench. Love it. Anthony Davis, when he protects the rim like this, there's nobody better than him as a power forward. He looked like an MVP candidate again tonight, Easy 19 points, very efficiently, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks. That's my dog right there. Marcus Gasol, he only played limited minutes, but he looked decent today. Montrezl Harrell, though, another 14-point game, another double digits in scoring off the bench. 26. Again, here's the thing about LeBron: 26 and 8 with 5 assists, effortlessly for LeBron James. He's not even trying. Dennis Schroeder had a solid game again today with 14 and 3. Kyle Kuzma 11. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. God, did we miss KCP or what? I swear we missed KCP. Because he came back, and yes, he missed the dunk and all that. He's obviously not 100%, but we truly missed Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, man. And his defense on the perimeter, his ability to knock down shots and get out in transition is so efficient. As a shooting guard, like I said, he reminds me so much of Rip Hamilton, the way he moves off ball, the way he's out here playing the perimeter. He's a crucial, vital player to this team. And I don't believe, did Wesley Matthews even play? No, he didn't even play, did he? So we weren't even complete tonight. Again, Alex Caruso making his impact, man. How many steals did he have? This kid is our best perimeter defender, in my opinion. He is, and he's coming off the bench, which makes it even more dynamite for the Lakers. TNT, man, all the talent in the world. I continue to love seeing what I saw from this kid. Obviously, offensively, he didn't have the best of nights tonight, but he said Kuzma had 11 rebounds. Oh, yeah, that's the thing about Kuz. When he plays hard like this and he tries to impact the game in other ways other than scoring, that's when he really he makes his mark on the game. He said, Dan, Lakers fan, is it just me or is LeBron James jumper looking wetter by the season? The best of the best continue to get better. They never stop getting better. And his turnaround jumper has been money all year long. But LeBron James always had a nice wetter. It's just, you're right. He's like fine wine with time. Just keeps getting better and better. He said, shout out to Kuz for putting in a double-double tonight. He was active. Love that. All we want to see from our players is that effort. Forget about the stats. Throw all the stats out the window. The effort, man. And yeah, the stats are nice to look at after wins. But if you notice, what I do here on this channel, I never look at the stats when we lose. I don't care unless they're really bad stats and we have to dissect them. But other than that, he said, Dan, THC is a restricted free agent after this season. Yes, he is, Jackie, but I don't think a team's gonna throw any $20 million contracts at him. So, if it's anywhere around the 10s, I think we'll match it. The Lakers are a winning franchise, and they're the type of franchise that they're willing to go over the cap to keep a solid team. Matter of fact, I said it in pregame before. I said if we had to trade somebody just to make more cap room to keep KCP, I'd do it. As much as I love KCP, I'm keeping THT. I think he's a part of the future. I think the Lakers already let him know that. Like, hey, man, we want to work out a deal with you. That's fair for both sides in the offseason. Probably, most likely. So, we'll see. He said THT can only get $9 million. Done. That's easy money. For the value that he's going to bring to this team, $9 million. Ink him up. Give me 4 years, $9 million. He said Anthony Davis, 5 blocks, LeBron's jumper, and the nice Kuzma had a great impact of the game. Our defense is scary. This is why I was so hard on them. I told them they got to tighten up that defense. Now, here's the thing. This team that we played tonight has a lot of talent, but they suck because they're not putting that talent collectively together. They're not playing as a unit. Everybody's out there stat hunting. So they weren't a real test, to be honest with you. However, tomorrow we play the OKC Thunder. They're a young, hungry team. But still, we're yet to face a real test this season. And the one game I really wanted us to win was the first one versus the Clippers. But again, that was ring night, so I gave them a pass. But I will say this. I want the Lakers to play a really good opponent, like somebody really good. And then I want to see how the defense reacts to that team because it was a great defense. You can't take nothing away from the Lakers. But we're playing, lower competition right now. We really are. He's a great show, brother. Destroyed the Flapland Rockets. The Flapland Rockets. He said Lakers for life. I like that. Dan, who is the Lakers' best perimeter defender? Alex Caruso, hands down. Every game. Well, you know what? I can't say hands down no more because THC's creeping up on him. THC, I think, is a better on-ball defender, but I think Alex Caruso plays the passing lane better. And so I think those two are hand in hand as far as perimeter defense, and that's a great thing because you want your young players to be known as defensive players for reals. Spencer Bailey says, hit the thumbs up, guys. Absolutely. We got 300 thumbs. We got 300 people in here. Let's get at least 150. He said, Jameson, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the donation, man. He said, Dan, that was fun watching our Lakers take the micro rockets behind the woodshed and give them the whooping. Bruh, the thing is that I still feel like there's still room for improvement. Now, call me a harsh fan and call me spoiled and all this stuff, but I still see a lot of room for improvement. For example, in that third quarter, this is back-to-back games when we let our foot off the gas and they shave off 10 points. I want the Lakers to be ruthless. I want them to take that 30-point lead and make it a 35-point lead. You know, I want them to continue to just pour it on. Take the heart and soul off of the opponent. Don't let them get them stats that they're so looking for every game. You know, take them out. And that's the only thing I want the Lakers to, because see what happens is when we face a good team and we start getting lackadaisical, they'll actually come all the way back and we'll end up losing the whole 25, 30-point lead. And maybe the game will be in jeopardy. So as much as I love the way we played, I still see a lot of room for improvement. And I want us to play like this versus the really good teams. Arthur, my guy said Simmons for Harden before. He said now Harden for Green. Man, you know what, Arthur? Thanks for the donation, bro. Appreciate that. You know what? I just think that James Harden is not a winner. Kobe Bryant said it first. And I've always thought that, but it wasn't a popular opinion. But obviously, I say it even if it's not popular. He reminds me, Russell Westbrook's the same way. They put up great triple doubles and all this stuff, but they're not winners. Look at, has Russell Westbrook even won a game with the Wizards? I think the only games they won was when Russell Westbrook was out. You have to play smart, high basketball IQ basketball. And James Harden's shots, a lot of them are silly. Now, he does make some great passes in transition, but I feel like some of these dishes are because he's on his last legs, and he definitely, with all that weight, he can't get up and down the floor as much as he used to. So I know myself because I've gained some weight, and in the court, where I used to create for myself and attack the rim ruthlessly, now I'm looking to play make a little more, right? Because I'm winded, and then my asthma starts kicking in. So I know exactly why James Harden got all them assists, right? And not saying that he's not a smart player, but when it counts, he really is, to be honest with you guys. A lot of the shots he takes, they're worse than the ones Kobe used to take when he was immature, and once Kobe matured, he became a much smarter player and much better. And James Harden never hit that maturity. You could tell this man doesn't take anything serious. He's out here just walking. He's not playing no type of defense, not leading by example. So I don't expect the Rockets to even make the playoffs as long as they keep James Harden. Now, if I'm the Houston Rockets, I'm working the phones because I'm trying to get the best deal I can before this guy's value completely diminishes. And God forbid he gets injured. Then you're just stuck with him, He's out here looking like Super Mario from the Super Nintendo with that type of body, man. Crazy. I never thought I'd see the day, but hey, anything's possible with COVID, right? Hey, Frederick, how you doing, bro? He said, I want the Lakers just to keep winning no matter who they play. They are the number one team in the whole league. Gotta love it, Frederick. And we are happy. But, we got to tame our happiness. Obviously, I'd be a lot more happier had we beat the Clippers to start the season and how we beat, who's another good team we played? The Spurs when they had LaMarcus back. I would have been ecstatic right now. But right now, I buy that the Lakers are a good team. I buy that the Lakers are a great team, but I don't buy that we've completely hit our full stride just yet. I feel like we still have another, this is our wingspan. We still haven't stretched that out all the way to reach full potential. So I feel like the Lakers still got to stretch, man. He said Houston just holding themselves back by not trading Harden. It's obvious Harden don't want to be there. He said they're gonna mess around and miss the playoffs. I'm saying, Charles. If you guys were here with me since the offseason, since the Lakers won the championship, when we eliminated the Houston Rockets last year, I mentioned how if I was Houston, I would trade James Harden because the highest trade value he's going to have is now that he has a couple of seasons under his belt, and he, his contract is not a 1-year expiring contract. They held on to him too long, in my opinion. They could have got 4 first-round picks from the Brooklyn Nets. They could have got Karis LeVert. They could have got Spencer Dinwiddie before he got injured. They could have got Jared Allen, and who knows if they would have got anybody else. But I'm saying they could have got a lot for James Harden, and now I don't see it. I mean, if you're Brooklyn, what are you? Your team is in turmoil too, so you might be desperate. But if you're Brooklyn, if they don't want Kyrie in return, what are you going to give up? Now you got to give up that whole package I mentioned, and I don't know if it's worth it at this point. I really like what Karras is doing for Brooklyn, man. Trust me, he's been balling out. Hey, thank you, Kane. Appreciate you, bro. He said, "Okay, I understand your point. You're right. No, you're right, bro. I mean, you're right to be happy about the Lakers winning. I'm happy too. Trust me. I don't want to get too happy yet till we see the Lakers beat some really good opponent, right? Once we do that, then I'll be like, yes, we are finally firing on all cylinders. I'll say it. So Dan, next Thursday we go against the Bucks. He said that should be a good test. I see them coming out of the East, in my opinion, but I expect us to win and beat them in the finals in 6. Too early. It's too early for me to make a prediction about the East, but you may be right. It's definitely gonna be a good test, though. Anytime you get Giannis versus Bron and AD and all them boys, and then they got Drew Holiday now, it's gonna be fun for sure. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Look, here's my thing. I'm gonna take it one game at a time. This game, I'm very happy. I'm very happy, extremely happy, and I want them to do this again tomorrow versus OKC because it's a back-to-back game. Who knows if LeBron's gonna play heavy minutes or not? I wish Coach would have sat him down to start the fourth. You know, I was texting with my boy. I was like, I don't want to see no starters out there in the fourth, especially because we play tomorrow. But unfortunately, you know, I don't know. Sometimes his train of thought is a little different than mine, and he leaves them starters out there. So I am curious to see how we react tomorrow playing OKC. Again, that's a young, hungry team. Yeah, they got raw talent. They're not the best of teams, but they got a lot of young talent out there, man. A lot of athletes, and it's gonna be a fun game. It should be tomorrow. So okay. Matter of fact, I may not be here for pregame tomorrow, guys, because I do have a wisdom tooth that needs to be removed, and I don't think I'll be able to talk. So I may not be here for tomorrow's game. But you guys go on and enjoy it without me. I'll be in pain. Hopefully the Lakers make me feel better with a dub. He said, XRP boy Bradley. He said, don't forget the Rockets have to put a hurt on some teams, and we made them shrivel. Look, the Rockets have a lot of talent, and it's the NBA. So any given night, for sure, any team can win. So I am happy that the Lakers are taking care of business early on. Definitely happy. We're undefeated on the road, man. If that doesn't tell you that we're battle tested and ready, just in case there's another bubble coming up, then we'll be ready. Excuse me. But thanks for the donation, bro. I appreciate that. And yes, we did make the Rockets shrivel. The Rockets just, again, they're a team that's detonating right now. They don't have a good franchise, a good front office. If they were a good front office, if Dan Gilbert was not Dan Gilbert, I'm sorry, the guy who used to run the Cavs, I forgot his name, but he's now the GM of the Pelicans. I promise you, had he taken over the Rockets after Daryl Morey left, I think he would have traded everybody, and I don't blame him. Because sometimes you gotta tear down a team and start from scratch. That team has always been a middle of the road team, never got over the hump. And in my opinion, I wouldn't even have traded for John Wall. I would have tried to go younger. You know, I wouldn't have brought in Boogie as much as I like him. I would have tried to go more athletic and younger and just start from scratch, because you can't be a middle of the pack team. That's how it takes you longer to get to the top, because you don't hit the lottery, so you're not getting those picks. You're barely winning enough to get to the playoffs, but you're getting eliminated early in the playoffs. So you got to bottom out first. You got to hit rock bottom before you can go all the way up again. He said Wednesday night is a trap game. It is, especially because it's coming off of back-to-back. He said, Dan, in your opinion, who's the second best team in the West? Ooh, jeez. That's a tough question, bro, because, I mean, it's the Lakers above everybody. It's the Lakers above everybody right now, and I'm going to see. Let me look at the standings right quick, and I'll get back to you right quick. I want to see who's up there. I know the Clippers are up there, but I really don't take them serious. They got a little bit better because they got a big. Utah's up there at 7-4. Phoenix is up there. The Trailblazers, the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Thunder. You know what? If Porzingis could come back healthy, I think the Mavericks could be up there. I still have the Nuggets as one of the top teams, even though they're struggling. The Suns, I just don't buy the hype, man. I don't buy the hype. I know Chris Paul makes them better. I know they're a nice team, but I don't see them as being a top 3 team in the West. I think they'll be 4th, exactly where they're at right now. I think they'll be 4th or 5th. But I think Mavericks, I think the Jazz are looking good this year. Denver's going to be up there when it's all said and done. I expect a lot better from the Pelicans this year, but right now they're struggling as well. So we'll see. Injuries have plagued a lot of teams. So, Yeah, I'm not buying the hype on the Suns. Like a lot of people are basically buying, from the stock market right now. A lot of people are heavy on the Suns, and they came out nicely and everything, but schedule factors into that. And just like Brooklyn, I told you guys, wait and see. Everybody was on them after the first two games they won. They looked really nice. I was like, okay, we'll see. And now look at them, right? And I told you guys about Kyrie and KD and their leadership, their lack of leadership, and why I didn't actually believe they were going to be as great as a team. I thought they'd be good, but as great as a team as people were making them out to seem, people almost gave them the championship just based off of them to joining up. I'm like, no, 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 no. Richard, he said, Dana man, love your show. Best Lakers reporter. He said, question: who do you think the Lakers should target at the trade deadline or at the buyout? Wow, man, that's a hard question, but thank you for the compliments, brother. That's a hard question because as of right now, um, I don't know who's going to get bought out, right? And free agency, a lot of people have said Deadman, Hassan Whiteside, and I think those are cool little players. Um, but it's nobody that's moving the needle for me right now. So I'll reserve my opinion on that till it actually, I'm sorry, excuse me, till it actually happens. So the buyout market happens and we start seeing these names coming up in the free agent market. Then I'll probably even make an exclusive video just for that. So, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. He says, Suns remind me of the Heat last year, though. Nah, no, 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 no. DeAndre Ayton is nice. Devin Booker's decent. I still take Bradley Beal over him any day, even though everybody likes Devin Booker because he's younger or whatever. But Chris Paul is still the same player that choked away, a couple of playoff series with the Clippers and with the Rockets. To me, he hasn't done anything for me to give him the benefit of the doubt. People they have short-term memory loss and they tend to ride the hot hand. Right now, it's a hot team and they did amazingly well in the bubble. However, I don't trust Chris Paul to carry the team over the hump to get them to the finals. Heck no, not over my Lakers. Man, I don't even think they're better than a couple other teams in the West, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong or right. I just don't think they're going to be the second best team in the West. I'll give them fourth or fifth. Like I said, I think Denver's going to shoot up. I think a lot of that has been because Jamal Murray hasn't been right since his injury. A lot of that has been obviously they lost Jeremy Grant, and that really messed them up. So, but they have to acclimate. And obviously, Michael Porter, who was supposed to replace Jeremy Grant, has been out with the COVID stuff for almost 14 days now. So, a lot of this stuff is impacting some teams. Luckily, the Lakers have been strong-willed and strong-minded, and they've been able to avoid a lot of contact and stuff like that. So we've been healthy. So, hey, Ozzy, what's up, bro? He said, I thought the Kings would be better. Not as long as they got Luke Walton as a head coach, man. I've been telling y'all, Luke Walton is not legit. Luke Walton is not legit. There's a reason that people want to get traded out of there. Luke Walton is he's not an NBA coach. I liked him. He's Laker family, all that good stuff, whatever. But I hated him as a Lakers coach. I thought he was so overrated, and he was everything that they said he wasn't. Right? They said he was a players coach. Players hated him. They were like, "Oh man, we're not getting rewarded, and we're balling out," said D'Angelo and Julius. Even though they vouched for the coach publicly, you could tell they didn't like him. And just like right now, a lot of Kings players that they had a lot of young talent the year before Luke Walton got there, they were balling out to end the season. And what happens? Luke Walton gets there, and I felt like De'Aaron Fox regressed last year. I felt like Marvin Bagley never developed properly. Injuries factored into that, but Buddy Hield should be a lot better as well. So, they've been a disappointment, but I'm not surprised because coaching does matter. I mean, look what Thibs has done early with the Knicks. Of course, it's still early. Anything could change. But early on, he has them playing disciplined basketball, and they're at least in every single game. Even if they don't win every single game, they're in every single game. So coaching really matters, and that's why I was happy when we got Frank. I know he would be a very, very good coach. Not a great one, but a very good one. And that's the difference. He said, Dan used to go in on Luke Walton years ago. I know, right? Was I right, though? I was definitely right. I told you as long as we had this coach, we weren't going to progress. Check. I told you as long as Jim and Mitch were running the show, we weren't going to progress. Check. I told you guys when we got Magic Johnson, he was going to start turning the wheels and landing free agents. Check. And then, everything was history after that. But I've been right, man. I've been right. I'm surprised that I'm still at 13K. I thought with all my prophecies over time, I thought I'd definitely be at 100K now. But we got to stay humble. Got to keep grinding. And you got to keep going. He said, nah, Frank is a great coach. Now we want a chip. I'm not gonna sit here and call him a great coach because I only call like a couple of people great coaches. So that's Popovich, Phil Jackson. There's only a handful of great coaches, but really good coach, he's a really good coach. Now, if he wins a couple more championships with us, he will be elevated to greatness. But right now, he's a really good coach. Obviously, he won because he's a good coach, but also because he has great talent on his team. So again, we got to keep it 100, man. I'm never gonna sugarcoat things here for you guys. Frank Vogel, very good coach. Where are there better in the market? Definitely. But for what we do, for how he made us a defensive-minded team, I give him props, man. I was happy when we got him as well. I was like, okay, we got Frank Vogel. I'm happy. I didn't want Ty Lue. I did not want Tyronn Lue. But Frank Vogel's a real deal. So yes, you are correct. Luke one was not very good coach at all. He said specifically for the Lakers in the situation we were in, which we were doing a rebuild. I know, right, Jameson? And it's crazy because he was rebuilding with the Lakers. He had to give those young players confidence and a maximum green light. Instead, he took away the green light. He started a bunch of vets that sucked. And, he took away confidence from players like Kuz, D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson, Julius Randle. He never embraced their talent. So, that's unfortunate. He said, hey, Dan, you should work in the Lakers front office. Man, if they were giving out applications that was that easy, trust me, man, I'd definitely be in line. But it's not that easy, man. You got to know somebody to be somebody. And you got to put in the work, too. You definitely have to put in the work. So everybody who's up there, man, that's props. Lots of them went to college and just basically interned where they could. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's very unlikely for them to pick up somebody from the streets like me. You know what I mean? Even though I have put in my work in my own right, from my TV set, but it's different, man. It's different than to be there traveling with the team and doing what you're doing. So I definitely give those guys tons of respect. He said, you can take Skip's job. You know what, Larry? That's definitely a job I'm looking for. Give me some sort of radio station or TV job. I'll definitely represent for Laker Nation properly, man. I'll do my very best. You can believe that. He said, Danny Green made 10 threes, but he shot 21 threes. Dang. He said, ain't that a lot? Yeah, bro. But you know what? I'm rooting for Danny Green because the fans have been very tough on him here, and they've been very tough on him over there. And you never like to see that. He is the champion. He needs to have some sort of respect on his name. And, we fans are just fans. We're passionate. We're emotional, but we should never get disrespectful, especially to players' faces, man. It's one thing when we discuss something at home or here, but if you get up in a player's face and you're like, you suck, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, he's a professional. You're not. You suck. Don't disrespect the champion like that. Ozzy, he said, what would be the 8th place team in the West? Be the East. What would be the 8th place team in the West? And in the East? I guess you're asking me in the East and in the West. Or let me see if I can rephrase that question. I'm a little confused by the question. Let's see. And thank you for the donation, bro. I appreciate you, man, for sure. What would be 8th place team in the West? Are you asking me that if a Western Conference team in the West, what seed would it be in the East? Is that what you're asking me? Okay, the 8th seed in the West. I haven't even. Let me double check, see what that is. Let me double check, see what that. Okay, so the 8th team in the West is currently the Thunder, who we play tomorrow. They're 5-4. So in the East, they'd be in the 7th. I guess they'd be in the 7th slot. If that was your question. Yeah, they'd be in the 7th slot. I mean, the East is actually competitive this year, man. I'm impressed. Look, Philly is 8-4. Boston is 7-3. The Bucks are 7-4. The Pacers are 6-4. Those are all winning records. Magic 6-5. 6-5 Hornets. 6-6 Nets, and 5-5 Hawks. So there's nobody below 500 in the Eastern standings as of right now. The Knicks are on the fringe, on the outside looking in. They're 5-6, but yeah, the East is actually very competitive this year. So that's a good thing. Now in the West, yeah, everybody's over 500. That's in the playoff picture. So that's the only difference. It's only like one game difference, but the West is always better for sure. Most of the champions come from the West side, except for when LeBron was in the East Coast, obviously, because he's great, right? But thank you, Dorian. Appreciate you, man. So, Dan, the Pelicans aren't a last I'm sorry, the Pelicans aren't a test, but should be a fun game against our former Lakers. I would love to take Skip's job. To me and Shannon will be talking Goat James and supporting the Lakers every day. Um, yeah, bro. Look, the Pelicans again. The records is early right now to really see. Like this is probably not how the West is going to look by the end of the year, other than of course the Lakers being on top. But everybody else, like the Lakers are starting to create separation. We're 9-3. Everybody else 7-4, 7-4, 7-4, 6-4, 6-4. Mavericks 5-4. So everybody else has 4 losses. Lakers are the only team in the West with 3. So hopefully we keep that up and continue that tomorrow. But as far as them not being a test, the Pelicans are 4-5, so they're 1 game below 500. If anything, that makes them really hungry. I think they can be a solid test for us, and they got a lot of young star power there, man. Brandon Ingram is exactly who I thought he would be at this point of his career, so he's gonna get a lot better. George said, "Great shooting tonight. We were on fire." Lakers have all the tools. We have shooters this year. We got slashers this year. We got superstar power this year. Defenders this year. The only thing we're missing is a little bit of rim protection. But when Anthony Davis plays like this, 5 blocks tonight against the guy who was talking trash. So that lets you know that Anthony Davis is that dude. When you light a fire under him, he's going to step his game up. And that's exactly what he did for the last 2 games where he played versus this one guy, Christian Wood, who looked like Christian Plastic today, by the way. But even though he put up nice numbers, they were all like in a blowout effort. Like most of his numbers came when the game was out of reach. When the game was in reach, Anthony Davis was just destroying him in the paint. So again, the Lakers will continue to get better. Christian Wood will hopefully learn his lesson and never talk smack talking about he's going to circle the game on his calendar. It's like, stop it, Chris. Stop it, Christian Wood. Like, you're not that nice. You're nice, but you're not that nice. He said Sterling Brown thought he was going to dunk on AD. Did you guys see that? Talon Horton Tucker almost just posterized everybody coming down the lane. That kid is sneaky athletic, man. Sneaky athletic. I love what he did, man. Like Talon Horton Tucker. And I keep butchering his name. I don't know why I call him Talon. Maybe because I think of talent, and the kid is super talented. So excuse me on that, Laker Nation. But Talon Horton Tucker is just we're gonna lock him up for years to come. I know for a fact that Rob Pelinka is not gonna let me down. I'll be so disappointed in Rob if he lets this kid go. I really doubt it. Do you think LeBron can get overworked in the season? Can he get overworked? I think he could. And I think that's why I said I didn't want LeBron to play in the fourth. I don't like it when we're blowing out teams and LeBron's in the fourth. If I'm Frank Vogel, once we go up 20 or 25 or whatever, I'm benching LeBron every time. Now, if they make a run and bring the game down to like 12 points, then okay, I'm bringing him back in the game. But you got to try to rest him as much as possible, especially when, there's another game coming up tomorrow. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, Ozzy, man. You're always coming through, bro. I appreciate you. He said, I hate when players try hard when they guard LeBron. They want to prove themselves, right? It's like when Kobe was in the league, man. Everybody wanted to prove themselves and go hard at Kobe. I remember some of the funnest matches were Gilbert Arenas. You guys remember the Hibachi? Oh, man, that guy could score with the best of them. Like, the Hibachi was nice. And I'll never forget, I think he was the only one that ever put up a 60-piece on Kobe. Or was it a 50-piece? I don't want to disrespect. It was either 50 or 60. But he did that in Staples, man. That one hurt, but I was really, truly impressed by his skill set. I was like, man, Gilbert Arenas is the truth. And then, he was a great scorer, but he was not really a winner either. Very similar to James Harden. Very similar to James Harden. But I actually thought Hibachi was a bit funner for me, at least. He was fun to watch with that crossover step back. I don't know. I love him. Vincent, he said, many teams interested in THT. Can we keep him? We absolutely can, Vincent. You know why? Because he's a restricted free agent, brother. And what that means is that we can match any offer that he gets out there on the market. Now, somebody said he could only get a maximum of $9 million because he's a second-round pick or something like that. But I'm not sure how the rules apply there. So don't quote me on that. And thank you for donation, bro. Appreciate you. He said Gilbert Arenas was a beast. No chill Gil. Agent Zero, man. He had Curry range before Curry. Y'all remember that? So everybody wants to give credit to Curry, talking about that's Curry range. Man, that's Gilbert Arenas range. Put some respect on his name. He said, Marc Gasol and Dennis, the Menace has adjusted their game to fit the Lakers style. Now they are more productive. They are, but Mark still has a ways to go. He needs to be more he needs to stop being a liability on the defensive end. Now, tonight, obviously, he did better, but that's also because Anthony Davis did a huge job of backing him up and rim protecting for him, for sure. Like, but you're right. They're starting to get better and better. Dennis is the one who's been the most consistent this year. Now he had like a little 2 to 3 game break, but he's back and he's in full effect now. He's impacting the game nicely. So, like I said, as long as they continue just improving and filling the game out like that, we're going to be pretty hard to beat. And tonight was a good example of that. But I want to see this same defensive effort, the same offensive effort when we face a really good team. Like my man said, next week we play Milwaukee. So again, guys, I probably most likely, I don't know how I'm going to feel after I've never, ever had a wisdom tooth pulled out, but I heard they got to cut my gums and then stitch it back up. If that happens, I won't be able to talk much because any crazy movement can open it up again and I can get some sort of blood clot in there or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how it goes. So pray for me, Laker Nation. I'm going to the dentist again for the second week in a row. And I'm gonna be scared because I've always had bad experiences with the dentist. But, you got to do what you got to do. So I like I said, I'm most likely, like I'm 99% sure I won't be able to get on here for pre and post game tomorrow. But without a doubt, definitely make sure you guys check out the podcast. Follow me on Twitter. I'll definitely be giving out my thoughts there at Daniel Lakers fan on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, DTLF247, and just many ways to connect with your boy, man. Keep it locked. If you guys already haven't, please consider subscribing. That's going to wrap it up for me tonight. Thank you guys so much, especially the donations and the likes, man. I truly appreciate you guys. You make this channel go. So thank you guys. Have a great night, though. Lakers, best in the West, best in the East. We're just the best overall. Defending champs continue to be on top, so I'm proud of them. Enjoy this victory, Laker Nation. I'll see you guys hopefully really soon. Peace out.